Hi, I'm Richard, and in today's tutorial we'll start modelling these tunnels so we can begin wandering around them in Unity. So let's get started. Hi, welcome back. Thanks for persevering with this dungeon tutorial. I know many of you are eager to start modelling this stuff out so we can play around with wandering around the tunnels in Unity. What we're going to do today is I'm going to model these out. What I won't do is show you the painful process of unwrapping them, because I think that's just too tedious, and what I'll probably do is I'll just start you off showing you how I did that, and then we'll just move on to importing them into Unity. This is obviously a very basic looking dungeon, and in the next tutorials, once we've got all this in, I'll work through making these look a lot more impressive and perhaps have some things inside and treasure and all sorts of stuff like that. But for now, let's just get the basic tunnels modelled so they're ready to go. So, with that said, let's just create a new, I might just save this one just as an aside because that's what I've been working on, but let's just do a new Blender file here. I'm using Blender. What version of Blender am I using? That's a very good question. I'm using Blender 2.77a. I don't know if that's the latest. I should probably check that out, but anything 2.7 for this will be fine. I've switched off I've removed the timeline, and I've hidden the 3D manipulator widget. You're welcome to do that, to use that if you wish, but I won't be using that in this tutorial here. Now, in order to create these tunnels, we need to just bear in mind some values and keep them throughout the creation of each of the different shapes, the corner, the T-junction, and the crossroads and the straights and so on, so that make sure that we are consistent, so they all join up without any seams or any visible seams. What I may have to do, just jumping ahead a little bit here, what I may have to do is create some sort of segments in between the tunnel pieces to keep it looking smooth, but that's a little bit ahead of ourselves. Let's not worry about that right now. Let's start off with the basic one, which would be the straight line. I'm going to tab into edit mode. No, I'm not. I'm going to press scale Y3, press enter, and just do Control A, rotation and scale. Let's just bring N to bring up the properties values here, and you can see these 262. For now, that's going to be fine, because what we're going to do is we're going to make this look a little bit more like a tunnel. So if I go to the front view, I'm pressing 1 and then just pressing numpad 5 to go to orthographic and tabbing into edit mode. And it goes without saying that I'll be doing a Control R and then right clicking and then just pressing Z and getting rid of the left hand side. And because I'm I'm going to do this in the middle as well, like that. I don't think I need to actually, but I'm going to do that anyway. I'm just going to press X, right click, and then just get rid of those ones, get rid of those vertices, and then we'll add a mirror modifier on the X and Y. Okay, so we've got ourselves a shape there. Next, I'm going to do the front view. I'm going to press Control R, and I'm going to do 9 to. In fact, you can see them down on the bottom left: 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm moving the scroll wheel up. Was it 8 times? I think. Left clicking and then right clicking to create some segments so that we can pull this out and add a smooth curve, a smooth, if you like, sort of rounded edge here. It looks a little bit more like a tunnel. So you stick with me if you're not sure what I mean. Just unselect everything, select those two edges there, and we're going to go into proportional editing mode. So you can press O, by the way. That'll bring up proportional editing mode, and the one we're after actually is this one here, sphere. Alright, so we'll just click on sphere, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab it on the X. Now, a couple of things to bear in mind here. Can you see on the bottom left it says proportional size? And as I move that up, it goes to 1, 1.1, 1.4, and I want that on 1. Exactly, 1.00. And I can drag this out, but again, I'm keeping an eye on the value, and I'm going to type 0.5. I know this because I've been playing around with it before. Pop it into Z to go into normal view, whatever it's called. What is it different? Z, that's wireframe. What's that? That's frame view, I don't know. Okay, so that's looking okay. You can see that it's looking a little bit jaggedy, and we can fix that. So just tab into face mode. I'm just going to get rid of these faces here as well, like that, and then X faces, and that'll get rid of the front and back. And if I just select all and go over to the shading UVs tab on the left hand side, if you haven't got that up, just press T and then press faces smooth. Now sometimes you have to go over to this data object as data panel and click auto smooth. It doesn't look like it needs it here, but I'm just going to do 60 on that value there, and there we go. We've got ourselves a pretty good By the way, when you're in, if you press tab and then control tab, it takes you into weight paint. So just be wary. I'm always doing that. I hope that's not putting people off in these tutorials. So that's a basically straight tunnel. The other thing we should do is add a solidify modifier to this. Let's do that right now. I usually try and make sure these are in the right order, but it doesn't seem to matter as far as I can tell yet. Whether solidify is below mirror or above mirror. So let's put it below for now, then we'll keep it below for the other ones as well. We'll set the thickness to 0.05 and we will unclick fill rim and click even thickness. Alright, that's good news, and I suppose why don't we just remove some of the pain while we're at it and unwrap this one, because this is particularly easy to unwrap. In order to unwrap it we need to apply the mirror modifier though. Yeah, we can apply that. We can apply that for now, and then we'll click on here, and then we will. I mean, this looks very easy, doesn't it? We should just be able to do something like face here, and just do edge there. I think I'll just do that one, that one, and that one, and the same below. Control E, mark seam, and if I just do A, U, unwrap. Press N here. Look at stretch. Obviously, there's nothing stretched there. That looks great, doesn't it? I'm very happy with that. That obviously unwraps perfectly well because it's a beautiful loop circle with no edges here. So that's going to work fine. The other ones we're not going to be so lucky. So let's. In fact, while I'm at it, I might as well just remove that seam there, hadn't I? X, delete, edge loops, and now just do A again. U, unwrap. There we go. Just adding enough. Probably saving us a few microseconds. Good, that's a really good start. Alright, just bear in mind a couple of things I did there. I made sure, excuse me, when I extended it on the x-axis I did 0.5, and that the proportional editing was on 1. Okay, it's important because if we're going to make a corner that connects to this, then it needs to have exactly the same parameters. Just one thing I'm slightly worried about. No, it should be okay. That looks thinner than I remember from the last time, but maybe I'm just imagining it. So what we'll do, we'll just rename that. We'll name that to straight. Let's save this. Let's create a new folder. Where are you? There you are. We'll call this folder Dungeon Tunnels. I'll just call it Dungeon for now, and then we'll go into it, and we'll call this tunnels.blend. Okay, so with that said, let's just hide that UV model for now, and we'll work on the crossroads. This is actually not too difficult, and we can do that by using a mirror modifier, which is always my favourite. So let's spin down here. We will Shift D. Now make sure we're in object mode. We are Shift D. That creates a new one. We'll right click it, and we'll just hide the straight by clicking on the eye there. Or you can press Shift H, actually, that does the same thing, but we'll hide the straight. And we need to, funnily enough, we're going to need to add that back in there, that edge loop there, and I'm going to add I'm going to create a mirror modifier again. So let's just do this, add mirror, and then we'll just go to the top, Z, Control Tab 1, delete those vertices there, add the mirror on the Y. We're going to delete those vertices there and add it on the X. Yes, good. That's come straight in because it came. And we'll also do it on the Z as well because I'm crazy like that. There's vertices there. Oh, we're in there. So B again. X vertices, and we'll add it on the Z. So we're actually only working with this piece here. That's rather clever, isn't it? So everything we do now will be applied to the left and the bottom. No, Richard. No, you've made a mistake. You need to. We're just not going to do this for a second. We're just going to apply it on the Y. Apologies, this one here is wrong. I don't want it on the Y-axis, and I'll show you why in a second. Show you why in a second? Is that a joke? Okay, so let's tab out and apply it. Yes, I know, and we'll just remove that X edge loops there, and now we'll add it again. Mirror X and Z. And the reason I did that was because I want to create a what do you call it? A T-junction, I guess. A crossroads here, and I need it to be a third of the way around, because remember we're trying to keep everything the same size. So if we just do Control R and do 2, because earlier on, if I just quickly go into here, you can see I did 6 there, so that breaks it up nicely into 2 by 2 by 2, and then we'll expand these out as well. It'll all become clear if I'm not making any sense right now. So we'll do Control Tab 3, and we'll just grab these guys, and we'll just extend it. And I think it's already selected the X for us. If it hasn't, just press X and then do 2. Excuse me, guys. What's going on there? GX. Okay. EX 2. Thank you. Now we don't know exactly where to put this bit here, so what we can do now is we just tab out and just do Shift A, Mesh Cube, and scale that up by 3. You can see now that this is where we want it to stop. It's poking out at the minute, so we'll tab back into here, press Z, no, yes, tab into edit mode, press Z, go to front view, and if we just scale on the X to, let's turn off proportional editing by pressing O, and put SX0. Okay, now it's poking out too far. Remember, it should only come to this line here. If it goes further than that line, then they'll start overlapping when we create our dungeons. So the way to fix that is to go into this magnet thing here. You can do that by clicking it or pressing Shift Tab, and we want to snap it to an edge. And the good thing about snapping it to an edge is that we can snap it to other object edges. So I just press GX, and I can select this edge on this box, and there we go. We've got our perfectly positioned crossroads, and now I can get rid of this box and go back in here, but it doesn't look great, does it? We've got the same problem we had before, so we'll just quickly press 3 there, and now if I wanted to, I could actually go and apply the mirror on the y-axis now that I've done that, but I will apply it on the y-axis. Let's tab into edit mode, and we'll just add an edge loop here. What happened there? Control R. Make sure it's got all the. Oh, look! I think I pressed Control T a second ago. Gosh, you got to be so careful with this. Right, there we go. And now I can do Z, Control Tab 1. Just make sure nothing's selected. Get rid of all that and press X vertices. And then on our mirror, we can do X, Y, and Z, and that'll apply everything that side as well. Now, like before, we'll just very simply grab these two edges here. Press 3, turn on proportional representation, turn on proportional editing. I'm talking about voting and politics. Turn off snapping. So we've got our proportional editing, and it's still in sphere mode. We'll grab it on the Y now, and it's going to be minus 0.5. And that should give us what do you call it? A sort of an edge that's exactly the same edge as that one there. Alright, and now we can just quickly get rid of those faces as well. X faces. Alright, and that looks about as good as those we said. This bit here is a bit clunky though, so what we can do, I'm not happy with that seam either. That's slightly frustrating. So let's just quickly do that. Control E, clear seam. What we can do, and again I think we should keep this consistent, and also I notice there's a face there, so let's get rid of that. Where is it? There. X faces. There. Good. Yeah. Do I see what's that? Look at that, I only just spotted that. That's just a hidden line. So let's just X that edges. What's going on here? I get the whole, I'm going to turn off solidify just to see if there's any surprises. I can't see any. I just didn't just turn it off, I just deleted it, didn't I? I didn't have to do that. Solidify, and then it's 0.05. Don't fill the rim and leave it even thickness. Just tab out, do Control A, rotation and scale to be sure. Alright, struggling with something. Let's just do A, Control N. Struggling with that bit down the bottom there. Let's just move it up. There we go. So this one, it does matter. I don't know, guys. I don't have an answer for that. I'm a bit curious as to what order these things should go in. Let's also do faces smooth. It's not liking that there. I don't like that there. So that worries me when I see. Oh, maybe I'm being paranoid. I don't know. But what we'll do now is just click on here and just do Control B. And again, no, something's gone wrong with this edge. Oh, blast it. Turn off solidify again. Let's just do A, and we'll try remove doubles. This might help us. Where are we? Go up to here. remove doubles. Yes, it did. There was something was joining up there. Hopefully that's fixed it. Let's just see. Control B. Yeah, that looks better. And we'll just do 0.25. And rather than have it as a hard edge, what we'll do, if we go down here, we'll maybe add an extra segment. I'm tempted to add 2. Excuse me, extra 1 to 3, just to see if that makes it look better. The more you add, obviously, the more resolution you've got, but it requires more processing. Although I'm tempted to say that 2's fine for now, at least. And that is our corner piece. That was our crossroads. Excuse me. Let's turn solidify back on, and I will unwrap that later on. I won't put you through that. That's a tricky one to unwrap. But there we go. So we can rename this now to crossroads. And then we can go on to the T-junction. So again, we'll do the usual. We'll Shift D this, right click, and then we will hide the crossroads. And we can click on this one here. And we need to apply the... So what we'll do is we'll apply it here. We'll apply just the x-axis. Tab out, apply that. And then we will add the modifier again. The mirror. Ignore this message, by the way, because it's at the bottom, and maybe that's no bad thing. Add the mirror, and but now it's not on the x; it's going to be on the y and the z. The x-axis. We don't want to mirror it on the x-axis because we only want the t to go that way. So if I go to the top here, tab into edit mode, and just z. Control tab 1 to go into vertex mode, and then just select that. Hang on, Richard. Yeah, select everything but those ones, and then press X vertices. We've got ourselves nearly a T-junction. So I'm going to turn clipping on, and I'm just going to select, if I just press C and select those ones there, and then press EY. Now clipping's on, that'll go right into the middle. Very smooth. Oh, no. Yes, okay, we can do it. We can get away with it. I was going to stop there, actually, but I was just Control R, like that, and just pull that along somewhere like that. Let's turn this back on, and then do G... Y, yes. Oh no, proportional editing's on, so just press O, and then GY. Select that edge there, so it's in line with it. And now what we can do is we can just simply join these up. I didn't have to do that. You can have n-gons, which are faces with more than 4 sides. Okay, and then we just need to quickly press that, and then press A, and then shading UV faces smooth. And I think that was easy, wasn't it? So we'll click here, and then we'll call that T-junction. And again, I will unwrap these separately so that you don't have to go through that pain. Keeping the solidify modifier on, and then finally, all we need now is a corner. So let's just click there, do Shift D, right click, turn that off. I can tell that that tool is on just by the way it was working. This one's tough. This one is tough. There's no question. So let's just try and get through it. I'm going to see if I can remember what I did last time. Let's just call this corner, so I remember which one it is. And we need to apply on the y-axis now. What are you doing? 7. There we go. And just apply that. And then add a modifier again. Just make it on the just on the Z now. And we need to go into the edit mode, and we just need to get this right. We need to get rid of those. Yes, we do. X vertices, very good. And then we'll get rid of those. Oh, let's go to wireframe, shall we? So we can get rid of all of those there. X vertices. I did this last time. I think I did it slightly differently, and I'm tempted to do it that way again. But let's just see how far we get with this. Let's just grab that piece there and just turn that back on. G Y and just pull it to that edge, and then possibly dissolve that one. X dissolve vertices, because I don't see as we need it, and the same with that one. We don't need that. Okay, we're in pretty good shape. So what I need to do now is just grab these guys and just start extruding on the x-axis, E, X, and then we're going to start. It does seem to be picking a few different vertices. There we go, that one there. Am I on edge? I'm on the edge, that's why. Okay, fine. And then EX again to that edge. EX again to that edge. And then finally, just click on these ones and press W, bridge edge loops. Okay, don't panic at the minute, I know it looks a bit rough. Select those, press F, select those 4, press F, those 4, press F. I probably could have done this in edge mode, couldn't I? Those 4, those 4. Press F. Okay, we got away with it just about. I was going to tab in, select everything, face is smooth, Control N. No, Control N. There we go. Okay, all that I'd like to do now, I think, is that edge there is a bit rough, so what we can do is just, this will help in a couple of ways actually. So just do Control R, select that, and then just right click. If we go to top view, just grab it and still this is the trouble, you've got these magnets and things on. Right, grab and just pull that out. I don't think we need to worry about being too accurate right now. There, and that makes that an end gone as well. 4 end gone. A face. What am I saying? What's that? What's that there? What are you? Oh, you're probably the solidify, aren't you? Okay, so let's just Control Z that. That didn't appear last time, and that's annoying. Yeah, your solidify is not. Yeah, I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed. I think, yeah, it's not happy with that. It's not happy with that. So what we could potentially do is just delete that face, and then we'll just do vertex and just make that a triangle. Excuse me, apologies. I've got a case of the sneezes. No, that's not. I'm not happy with that at all. So let's just get that back here. X that face. Now, why are we getting so much grief on this face here? Let's have a quick looky. This worked fine when I was doing it in the test run. You can see that it's not happy with that. And I was thinking that was a good thing that I'd made a. So when I didn't have the edge loop, how did it look then? I might not be able to go that far back. Let's just see. I can, and it's happy-ish. Yeah, happy-ish. Hang on. So it's 80. Happy-ish, but not thrilled. Okay, so what I think I'll try and do then is I'll just grab them out again, go to top view, grab them out like that. Now it seems happier. I don't know what the difference is. I don't know what I've done differently. Okay, well I'm going to leave it. There we go. And that is the corner piece done. And let's just prove these are all good. So if we just press Tab, we just press Alt H to bring them all back. And we can start moving them around. So I'll pick, what have I got? I've got the T-junction, so let's grab that on the X. Let's grab it on the X that way. You can see I can attach it to that, so that'll be -6. And then, what's that's the corner, so let's grab it on the Y, look, and pull that up here. What's that? 6. What else we got here? That's the the crossroads, so let's grab that on the Y. Oh, okay, let's not grab that, let's grab the straight and grab that on the Y. -6. And you can see, oh, what have I just done then? Grab on the Y, -6, enter. And there's our shapes. You can see they all join up beautifully. Okay, so we just what I'm going to do now is I'm going to unwrap them all. I know I've unwrapped that one, so I'll unwrap all these guys, and I'll show you when that's finished what I did, rather than make you go through the pain. Okay, so I'll be right back once I've unwrapped them. And like magic, they reappear, all seams worked out. Wouldn't it be nice if there was a little seam fairy that could go away and unwrap this stuff for you as painlessly as possible? Just quickly take you through what I've done then. So if I spin up the UV image editor, just select this one here. I've just unwrapped them, sort of squeezed them together a little bit. Is that okay? Does that fit? Yeah, that all fits there. Just checking the stretch. If you press N, by the way, on the UV image editor and click stretch here, you can actually see if there's any stretching going on. And blue is no stretching at all. So you can see on these little corner pieces here, and that's, oh, excuse me, and that is these pieces here. Zoom in, press N and T on there so you get a bit more room. These pieces here. Is that going to work? Yeah, those pieces there. They've got a little bit of stretching, haven't they? But it's not. You know, it's just so light. I'm not going to lose sleep over that. With the straight we'd already done. The corner was a bit tricky. Had a little bit of work to do there, particularly on this pesky corner here. I don't know, maybe I need to rethink how I do that because I've obviously got something wrong, but it unwrapped, and you can see again, all perfect apart from that corner where it's got a bit lost. Not too bad. And finally, U. So it's just tabbing. I think U were pretty much the same as the crossroads. Just slightly different organisation of the shapes there. So those are all done. That's all done, people. So what we can do now is we can export these. We could have exported them before actually, but we can export them now into Unity. So let's just make sure that everything's saved. Control S, and then we will file. I might need to do them individually actually. So let's just start doing those. So we'll say File, Export, FBX. And we want just the selected objects, you see that there, and also click on this experimental piece here. And so I'm so sorry, I'm pretty sure that was the T-junction I had there. We'll check in a second. And that'll be tjunction.fbx. You can keep all of the other settings the same, just make sure it's the selected objects and click Export FBX. Yes, it was the T-junction. So we'll click on here, File, Export FBX, and that's going to be the corner. And because these settings should stay the same, so we've got selected objects and experimental, click on there, and then again click on that and just do File, Export, FBX, Crossroads, and finally, which we just call it straight, File, Export, FBX. We'll just call that straight, shall we? Bash. We've still got work to do, but we've done it all in Blender for now. Clearly this isn't textured, and we will work on the texturing, but I just want to make sure that A, it works in Unity, and B, that we can just sort of get the colliders working. So let's get that bit working, and then we can do some fun stuff, which is modifying the textures in Substance Painter. So let's quickly spin over to Unity. Okay, with Unity up and running, there's something I think I'm going to just do straight out of the box, which is copy the Blender folder from my Blender directory into the Unity assets folder. So we can do that just by bringing up a window here, going to my Blender folder, and I think it was Dungeon we called it, didn't we? It was a folder though, let's sort by name. It was called Dungeon. There we go. Oh, and I think we'll do Control X to make absolutely sure that we don't have it in two places. And then we'll go to my Dungeon Generator folder, which is in Unity, and just double click it and then just do Control V. I think I might rename it though. Let's just call this Models. I know it's got the FBX files in there. It's got this backup file and the FBX. So it's got everything we need in there. And if we spin back into Unity now, Unity will do its magic. One of my favourite things about Unity, you can just go in there and it will automatically update. I love this. I mean, obviously that's great there, but when you're doing things like modifying textures in a separate program, if you come back in here, it will recognise that's changed and automatically update them. I think that's brilliant. I think that's really, really good. And I'm just noticing about Unity Pro actually. I'm going to be having a look at that. It looks a little bit out of my price bracket. It's a shame they couldn't have done it a little bit more cost effectively, if that's the term. $35 a month. So what's that? 350. So you're talking the best part of $415 a year. Bit much just for a splash screen and additional commercial value. So, well, I'll see how that goes. But it looks good anyway. I do like the idea of a splash screen. Maybe not at that price though. What I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to actually create a new scene. That's called the base scene there. No, I don't think we need a new scene right now. Let's just get the console down there and get some space out, and we'll start importing these models in and making them look like something. So if we've got our corner one here, so let's just bring that in over here. Let's have a look. I like these. It's interesting actually. It's got the -6 there, hasn't it? It's kept its position. That's fine. We'll just reset that, and we'll press F to zoom into it. Okay, this looks fine to me. Has it applied the solidify modifier? I don't think it's applied the solidify modifier. Has it? If it has, it's very thin. Did I have a solidify modifier for the corner? I'm pretty sure that I did. I think it must have done. And I'll tell you why I think it must have done. Is because it has done. And I'll tell you why you can't see it. It's because the rim is filled. Excuse me. Yes. So the solidify modifier is there. I can explain why in a separate tutorial if you wish. Yeah, that corner never worked out, did it? It triangulated it, and it's made it look a bit funky. But there we go. We can bring that in there. What I like to do, and I think what I'll probably do, is start with the straight one. Is add some colliders. So let's just actually let's remove that for now, and then we'll bring our straight in here. That's got a position, so let's just reset that. Press F. Let's bring it up, and we'll just add some colliders to it now. And we'll do that by just saying add component box collider. And what it's done is it's created a box collider all the way around it. Bearing in mind we're going to be walking inside it, we don't want that. So what we need to do is we'll need to add a size. So let's try 0.1. Excuse me. So the size needs to be 3, but the y-axis, which is the up axis, needs to be 0.1. And what we then need to do is that what moves it down? No, that moves the whole thing down. So we just need to get its position and just move it on the Y down near the floor. And if we just go to front view, press Z there. Now we can't see it, that's brilliant. Let's go side view then. And we need it somewhere near the floor. We don't need it on the floor exactly, but that looks pretty good. Okay, and then we can just do the same thing on the top. So let's just add another box collider. Let's add a component to box collider, and we know that's 0.1, and we'll just move it to the top. I'm just sort of guessing these as I go along. You get the idea. That's just to stop you jumping out of the screen. I'm just going to keep adding a couple more box colliders. But now, where did that one go? That's what this one here. So this is going to be on the x-axis 0.1, and just drag that over to the left. Let's just keep an eye on the side. Oh, we're going to the right now, aren't we? So we're going to say minus 1. Okay, -1, and then we'll do the same for the other side. Well, I guess which is going to be 1. Again, so it's this one, 0.1, and on the side here we'll make it 1. Alright, so you can see now that you've got yourself a little box that you're stuck in. That's where you're going to be walking in. Alright, so I just need to do that for all of them, and we should be able to test this out. Well, let's just do this. Let's save this. Let's add a actually I think you'll click it here. Here, and then right click and do import package characters. This might take a second. Just import everything there. This is one of the standard packages that comes with Unity. Allows you to add a first person character. Well, it allows you to do quite a few things actually, but I use the first person character for this. I'll just pause this while it imports. Alright, that's imported. We've got a couple of things here. I know it's the standard assets in the editor. So the standard assets in here. Right, apologies, my phone rang there. You may have heard it. Let's try and add this first person control. So if we go into standard assets, I'm just make sure I'm recording. Yes, apologies for that. Right, let's go to characters, first person character, prefabs, FPS control. Just drag that in. And just reset its value. I know it's where it's gone to. Now, the first problem might be, if we go game here, by the way, is that it might not fit. this could cause a problem with all of our values from previous times. But let's just see. Let's just press play. By the way, so we need to disable the main camera because the first person has its own camera. I don't think you need to disable it, but I think it'll overwrite it. I press play, and it would appear I'm stuck. Yes, I'm stuck. Okay, press escape. So I think we'll need to. Interesting that the maze still created over there. So what I'll need to do is probably scale this. Let's try 222. That's huge, but let's just see if it now goes in. Okay, that's good. That's worked fine. Our existing dungeon is jammed into it, but you can see obviously there's no textures or anything, which makes it look a bit weird. But beautiful. Fantastic. Okay, so 222. So we're gonna have to get a bit creative on our other pieces. So now I just need to go through and add the box colliders for these other ones. So let's just hide you away and go to our models. And what we should probably do is we'll start adding prefabs. We'll add these to the prefab shapes for now. Yeah, let's just do that. So now we'll get the corner. Okay, let's just hide the straight, or delete it because it's already done, and then scale it 2 by 2 by 2, isn't it? 2 by 2 by 2, and wander around, wondering what's going on. Add a box collider, and we'll make the Y 0.1, and just drag that down. We don't need to make it all different angles because that's what am I trying to say? What am I trying to say here? Now one thing I've just realised is we need to keep this consistent with the straight, don't we? So let's just have a quick look at the straight. And oh, you monkey! Right, so let's bring that back in. Not sorry, in the prefabs. Excuse me, straight. So it's the ones that are on the y-axis, isn't it? Where are we? Y2 to where are we? Minus 0.3. Yeah, so we should make these -1 and 1, and we'll do the same with the corner here. So we'll make that -1, which is bang on the floor, isn't it? Absolutely bang on the floor, which is fine. And also then we'll add another component here, box collider. That's going to be 1, 0.1. That does that one. Okay, and we're going to have to add a few here, aren't we? We're going to have to get a bit. We're going to have to make this one of these sort of half the size. Add component box collider. Can't add the component box collider 2D. No, I didn't want to add box collider 2D. I wanted to add a box collider. And this one here is going to be on the left. Let's just do the left-hand side. So we'll make the size 0.1, and we'll just move this to the left. Excuse me, to the right. I'm gonna guess that should be 1. Yes, 1. But that's the last of the easy ones, because now I've got to do this corner piece. I can't copy these. Can I really have to do copy paste? Can I do that? Copy component. No, you can't. So you've got to add box collider. All right, and then we know that it's going to be 0.1 wide. Is this the one? Yeah, I think so. 0.1, but we know also that it needs to be half the size, doesn't it? So where's the size on the Z? Is this one here? So we'll make it 2.25. That seems a weird size. That seems a weird size. Okay, but we're going with it. And then I'll just... No, it's not the right size, is it? Let's go to top view. Can't quite see it, but okay, so we're going to go and let's just move this around on the Z till we get the position that we like. There we go. I think that's okay. There. And then just check this side, yes. And we'll do the same on this piece here. So we have one more box collider. Gosh, box collider there, and this is going to be it needs to be on the Z-axis 0.1, and half the size, wasn't it? So that's 4 point like that, and then it needs to be moved on the. Gosh, guys, I'm struggling with the numbers. With the X, move on the X. On the X. That still looks quite large. What have I done wrong? I thought I changed the size. On the Z is right. It needs to be on the X. It needs to be 2.25. There we go. And now I should be able to move it. It's hard to see, isn't it? I'm probably going to find a better way to do this. Move it on the X position here. Am I clicking it? No. There, just pull it across until it's. What's that? -2? No, minus 1.9. There, that looks good enough to me. Okay, so you got your oh, I've got one more to put over here, haven't I, as well? Look at that, one more to put at the back, but that can go all the way around as well. Gosh, right, nearly there. So what we'll do is we'll actually just create one more, add component, box collider. This will be the one at the very bottom. So again, it's going to be on the Z, is going to be 0.1. And now we just need to move it across on the Z axis, on the Z here, other way to -1. Okay. Apologies about that. I just got another phone call. Now, to me, I've just realised this one here doesn't look quite in the right place on the Z-axis. So let's just start unticking these until we find the one that it is. It's still there. Just keep ticking until it disappears, and then that'll be the one. So it's that one. There we go. It's that one. You can see it's gone on and off. So we'll just drag that. I'm just going to drag that on the Z-axis a bit further across. Pull that over the other way. So you'd have to say that was going to be 1, wouldn't you? 1. There we go. Okay, so that's that piece there, with all its colliders. And again, I think I'm going to have to pause this and do all the other colliders, otherwise you're going to go insane. So let's bring in the straight back. Let's just drag it down here to make a prefab out of it, and delete it from here. I know that sounds a bit crazy, but I'm going to bring the straight and the corner and just drag them in like that. And if I just grab the straight and just pull that on the what was that? Just looking at the values, I'm thinking that should be 6. And now if I run this, where's my first person controller? Where are you? Where are you, first person controller? You're there. So let's just move you back over here. You're facing the wrong way. That's all right. We'll turn you around in a second. So now if let's just do maximize on play. Click play here. Okay, we'll turn it around. We've got the dungeon in our face. Okay. Ah! Why didn't that work? I know why it didn't work. It's because we disabled all of the box colliders, didn't we? Okay, brilliant. Okay, let's just do that. And by the way, whenever you do this stuff, just remember to click. If you want it to apply to the prefab, just make sure to click apply up here. Try that again. I'll turn you round. First of all, I was a bit concerned that was lighter, but I think that's because the sun's shining in. Okay. Oh, I'm thumping the top, but there we go. And obviously it's difficult to see anything because there's no textures on this, but I think you can see that there is a corner there just about, and that we can wander around it. Great stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through that rather painful process of adding all the box colliders. Well, it's not that painful because there's only 2 more shapes, but I'm going to add the box colliders to the other 2, and then I'll come on back. So bear with me. I'll be right back. Alrighty, so I have now added all of the box colliders. You can see it's got quite tricky, particularly things like the crossroads, where I had to add box colliders on each of these walls. I'm sure there is a way that you can drag and grab these via the scene view, but I couldn't work out what it was, so I just ended up doing it manually here. Most of the values are rounded figures, so I just went through there, and I put them in position so that I could walk around them. And you can see that these values are pretty like -6, and that makes sense because obviously each of these is going to be 6 long and 6 wide, so we should be able to see 6s all over the place, and factors of 6, so -12 and -12, 6. So you get the idea. So this should work nicely when we plug this into our placement algorithm. I think we need to up the value to 6 rather than, I think it's 3 at the minute, so we'll make it 6, and that should be okay. I positioned my first person controller, so let's just have a little wander around and see if this works. This is looking good so far. You see, here's our crossroads. Actually, this might work a bit better if I pause this and just remove maximize on play. This makes me laugh. You've got the big dungeon there, but obviously that'll be gone shortly once we've replugged in the new prefabs. So let's press play now. And you should be able to see where we are. Aha, so hang on, if I click on first person controller, you can see where he is. You can see he's walking back to the start, I think. Thank you. It's not 100% clear if I've got these box colliders quite right, but they seem okay. If I tap the wall there, look at this, we go round. Now I'm going here, you can see I'm on the crossroads, and down here, this is the T-junction here. Glorious, so we've got all of the shapes we need, and in the next video what I will do is I'll start pushing these back into the dungeon tutorial, into the dungeon shapes and those positions 0 through to 10, and then we'll update the code so that it actually places this down, and we can actually create a dungeon that we can walk around. It should be quite a short video because we've done most of the hard work, but I want to take a break now so that you can take all this in. As usual, I will provide a link to a Unity package so that you can play with this piece here. You may want to skip this one and just go to the next one and grab that Unity package, but I'll be doing that video over the next couple of days. So thank you as always for watching. It's been a pleasure. See you soon. Cheers now. Bye bye.